What's up, guys? ajmarkle here. Welcome back to If Disney Anime Classics were released today. Number 15. I said 13 before in another video, but it's supposed to be 14. But anyway, guys, this is to
The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You guys have been asking for it.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know, we do read the comments, and no, Holly and I do not have our own channel yet. And I just slammed my knee right to the desk. Okay. Okay, so Hunchback of Notre Dame is the darkest Disney animated film by far, and it was released in 1996. Year was born. Don't get cute, guys. Are you dark and edgy? Are you dark and edgy? Shut up. Anyway. Okay, so let's get to it. Apparently, as we're looking up the plot, it's narrated by Cupin, a Romani puppeteer to a group of children. Keep in mind, this is rated G, but once we finish it, you will be like, this was rated G? So here's how it starts. A group in Roma was immigrating to Paris, got ambushed by the main villain, Judge Claude Frollo, who was the Ministry of Justice in Paris, and his soldiers. A woman attempted to flee with her child, which will be Quasimodo, but as she reached the doors of Notre Dame plea for sanctuary, Frollo chased her and knocked her to the steps, where she hit her head and died. Okay, that's automatically murder in a rated G animated film. Disney, do you have some explaining to do? I mean, you already...
And it's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, and let's not forget the other people that have died in past films we've reviewed. Huh?
Yeah.
So anyway, after that, he saw the baby because it had a disability. It's kind of important to know that because for those that don't know or haven't watched Holly's channel, Holly does have Asperger's syndrome and anxiety disorder. So, yeah, that's something to point out. And you don't mind me talking about it, do you, honey?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. And anyway, Quasimodo had a deformity which will leave him hunchback of Notre Dame. That makes sense. And he was gonna throw the child into a well, but was renounced by the archdeacon, who and also rebuked for murdering a woman who was innocent. So afraid to go into hell or Hades. I think I'm just gonna say Hades, not a reference to Hercules. So what after that happened, he decided to name the child Quasimodo, which means half-formed.
And then hides him away in the cathedral's bell tower
for 20 years. Yes, that's Holly's age. She's almost 20, she's almost 21. So anyway, now as Quasimodo grows up, he does eventually go out. He goes to a festival called the Festival of Foods.
Festival of Fools.
Yes. Thank you. I don't want to say food. Sorry. But but he was out there, but Frollo did not want him to go out there because he had the guards prompt him to humiliate the crowd. But Frollo refused Quasimodo's pleas for help, but he was rescued by Esmeralda, a kind traveler. Yeah. And this part is another reason why we question Disney. There was attempted murder, and he tried to arrest Esmeralda, who is a magician, and she escaped using a magic trick. So he escapes using a cathedral, and followed by Esmeralda, but the captain, Frollo's guard, Phoebus, refused to arrest her for, quote, witchcraft, and instead tells Frollo that she has claimed asylum. And of course, she befriended Quasimodo, the first friend at since she ever had. Yes, and he also helped her escape. And of course, by entrusting Quasimodo, she gave him a pendant to a Romania hideout called the Court of Miracles. Frollo ends up developing, I'm gonna say this better so YouTube doesn't demonetize it, inappropriate feelings for Esmeralda, and begs the, quote, Virgin Mary to save him from her spell to avoid eternal damnation. I don't usually say that word, but that's the actual context. So,
yeah,
So I want to say this. He does say a very powerful song about that, which is very.
Yeah.
But I will say this though. This guy is a sicko. I will just say he's an example of a person who claims to be of a religious belief, but falls for his more humanly desires and ends up making horrible decisions based on that, and then claims to do them for the higher power, which is not good and not right. So that's So when Frollo's got Esmeralda escape, he tries to search for her and bribe the arrested travelers and set fire on houses trying to find her. This is really nice. This is really nice. But Phoebus defies Frollo in order to burn down a house with a family inside, and Frollo orders him executed. Phoebus flees, but is struck by an arrow and falls into the river ceiling, where he is found by Esmeralda and taken to Notre Dame for refuge. The gargoyles, who are another cool characters, by the way, pretty goofy.
And their names are Victor, Hugo, and Nevern.
Alright, they encourage Quasimodo's confession to Esmeralda, but he's heartbroken to discover he and Phoebus have fallen in love. Realizing that Quasimodo helped Esmeralda escape, Frollo tells him he knows about the Court of Miracles and plans to attack it at dawn. Using the map Esmeralda gave him, Quasimodo and Phoebus fled the court to warn the Romana, only for Frollo to follow them and capture all the travelers present. Due to Esmeralda still rejecting Frollo's advances, Frollo attempts to... Okay, this one's very bad. He attempted to kill her again!
Yeah.
But again...
Alarm's going off.
Again, rescued by Quasimodo. After bringing her inside, he and the gargoyles pour molten lead onto the streets to prevent anyone entering. Phoebus releases the Roma and rallies the Paris citizens against Frollo's guards, while Frollo himself breaks to the cathedral. He pursues Quasimodo and Esmeralda to the bell tower, which is another dark element here. Yeah. And Quasimodo fight. Now this is something I need to bring up here before we continue. He adopted Quasimodo, but his manipulation and abuse, I say that, has led to this moment. And Quasimodo finally was standing up for himself. But go on, honey.
That's when Frollo's said, I should have killed you a long time ago, just like I killed your mother. And that's when Quasimodo found out about his mom.
Can we just say this? This is the most common villain cliche with the monologuing.
Yeah.
It's like, here's how I would have if I was in this. Like, I should have taken care of you, like taking care of your mom. You did what? I would have. No offense, guys, and please, you two, don't get mad at me. I probably would have given my piece of my own mind and taken care of him if you know what I mean.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyway, to kind of speed this up a little bit, they had a big fight. It got to the level where his own arrogance got to him, and then he lost control and his balance, and then just as he looked, he was hanging on to a gargoyle statue, and it transfigured into a actual demon, and he fell into the fiery pit.
And that's actually a reference and foreshadowing to how he's committed many sins as well.
In my case, though, I would say he didn't really commit to the higher power, but rather use that authority in a religious way for his own fleshly desires. So, in this case, unfortunately, another dark element of Disney, and he ends up dying. Quasimodo accepts Phoebus and Esmeralda's love, and they encourage him to leave the cathedral, where he does so. And the people of Paris hail him a hero. So yes, Quasimodo is an example of, regardless what deformity or challenge you have in your life, you don't let it stop you from becoming a hero. I know some of you might say we probably missed out some elements in there, but I think the step message is clear. Quasimodo had a lot of drama in his life where he was secluded and held in, and Esmeralda accepts him for who he is regardless, and falls in love with Phoebus, who renounced the main boss that was the villain of the whole story. And with the drama that happened, they ended up rejecting the manipulation, fight off the evil, and evil ends up getting his desserts. So anyway, go on, honey.
You know what this actually reminds me of? Quasimodo and Frodo's relationship, to be honest. Even though this particular movie was made in 2010, not Hunchback of Notre Dame, but this movie I'm going to mention, it's parallels similarly to Rapunzel and Mother Gothel as being gaslighting in a way.
Oh yeah, and for those that weren't asked, no, we are not putting Tangled on the list because it's not an anime classic in the 2D animation. It's more of a 21st century 3D animation. Any classic animations in the 2000s will be a stretch, by the way. But anyway, back to Notre Dame. Good comparison, honey.
Thank you.
Quasimodo and Frollo's relationship, per se, was one of slavery, one of manipulation, and one of darkness. And as we go to the end of this whole animation classic, you guys want to know the rating. I always say so the rating at the end with my lady, but you guys know.
Yep.
Unfortunately, though, because of the murders, the tense fighting, the
prejudice.
Oh my gosh, yes, and even a man who was willing to kill a baby. That is
and sexual
advances. Yeah, and so basically, I hate to say it, the Reiji Hunchback of Notre Dame is like, what are you doing? Despite the lack of blood, there's been more than one attempt of execution. Rescuers will no longer be alone as we make this Hunchback of Notre Dame Hunchback of Notre Dame rated R.
Yeah, like, come on, like, no offense, but G, for this type of film that has so many themes, like, that is so dark and would want to make people turn away and cringe in fear. Come on!
Even if you could okay like a 15 to 16-year-old to watch this now, you gotta be real. Murder in the highest degree is very high. People might say, but there's nothing like sexual. Guess again, there's no blood. There's been murder, and unfortunately, guys, I highly recommend if you want to watch Hunchback of Notre Dame, please be sure you're not alone unless you're old enough to handle it. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I know it's a little short, but we kind of want to make sure we get it down pat, because if we go into too much details about it, it would probably get demonetized by YouTube. No offense, YouTube. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. You guys know what I'm going to say. God bless you, rock. Don't you ever forget it.
Be unique and be creative. Have a good day, everyone.